planet. This character that we created was coming to life.
Alice Cooper is set to debut his new movie, Super Duper Alice Cooper, billed as the world's first doc opera at the Tribeca Film Festival on Thursday, April 17th. The documentary was done by Scot McFadyen and Sam Dunn at Bangor Films, and expected at tomorrow's premiere will be the Filmmakers, Alice, and members of his solo band. The movie is first and foremost a documentary, and the film tells tales of Alice's first encounters in Los Angeles, running into some of rock's now gone but not forgotten icons.
It was not unusual to walk into a room and have Jimi Hendrix there and Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin. That was kind of, those are your gang, you know. Now you look back and go, those are mythical characters. But at the time, they were like guys that you hung with, you know. It took 50 years before they become mythical gods. But at the time, you were all just trying to survive.
Another turning point was Alice not finding Los Angeles very welcoming and then moving to Detroit, which received his theatrics with open arms.
It was hippie, and our band never felt, we didn't fit into that. We were inertly theatrical. Our object was not peace and love. Our object was switchblades and blondes and Ferraris, you know, and really loud, hard rock and roll and glamorous rock. And glam was so out. Nobody wanted to know about that or theatrics. It was just all about, hey, let's all just groove together. And we kind of went, yeah, right, you know. So we ended up just taking advantage of the fact that we didn't fit in and just became, I said, I don't mind being the Moriarty of rock and roll. You know, I want to be the villain of rock and roll. And it didn't set right with a lot of people because everything was anti-Vietnam, anti-violence, and we just kind of liked a little violence. Didn't really bother us at all. And then I realized that, oh yeah, I am from Detroit, you know. But when we got to Detroit, we fit right in. I mean, it was just like we were the missing finger in the glove. You had Iggy and the Stooges, the MC5, Ted Nugent, and Alice Cooper.
Detroit was his former home before moving to Phoenix as a kid. The film is being billed as the first doc opera, and a main reason has to do with the animation, pictures, and footage, with Alice Cooper narrating to you rather than at you. The filmmakers said that they wanted to do something different than the usual on-camera interview format for documentaries.
Yeah, I mean, we had just come off making Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage, and we were approached by Shep Gordon to do a doc about Alice Cooper, and we were thinking about a way that we could do something different than just your typical talking heads documentary with, you know, aging rock stars talking about the past. And we wanted to do something that had a much more rich visual collage of you know, just something that would actually take you into the experience of that past rather than just people telling you about that past. So we decided to have no talking heads and just make a tapestry of photographs and stock footage and animation and old horror movies and figure out a way to tell the story with just people in the background.
They also focused on the more mythic periods of Alice Cooper's career, which fixated more on his controversial early days.
I think we decided pretty early on that we didn't want to cover all of Alice's career. And maybe we couldn't have covered all of Alice's career because, as you say, it's so vast. I think what we did is we sat down and we took a look at what Alice had been through at various parts of his life and decided, okay, well, the mid-'80s makes a good a climax to a film where Alice had gone through some pretty rough times with alcoholism and drug abuse, and you know, he sort of came back as this sort of, you know, godfather of glam metal, if you were. It's like almost the world came back around to what Alice had been pioneering for a long time, and it's like, okay, let's put on a spectacle again. And there he was, clean and sober for the first time in his life, ready to kind of take that prize.
We'll have more from Alice Cooper a little later. McFadyen and Dunn are the same creators as Iron Maiden, Flight 666, and Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage documentaries. Other films dealing in the music category for the Tribeca Film Festival this year include Bjork, Biophilia Live, a look at Nas with Time is Illmatic, untitled James Brown documentary, and the other one, The Long Strange Trip of Bob Weir, among others.
What are you in right now? Rock and roll, Vincent Double, alcoholism, success, death, survival.